Greetings, ladies and gentlefolk. This is Gordo Diamond, and I bring to you the second video on this series about Final Fight LNS 3.0. In the first one I covered a little bit. It was a very short review about what this game is, who made it, and a few details. A very, let's say, not exhaustive review explanation of its main features. This time, this second video is in a way kind of an adaptation into the English language of a very complete tutorial that one of the programmers of the game, Nestor Acebo, made a few days ago after the presenting the game and releasing the first, let's say, the first patch 3.0.1, as you can see on the top right of your screen. Nestor also made a lengthy video talking extensively about the features of the game. It's a kind of a very complete how to play, but it's in Spanish. Not that this is a problem, but maybe some of the English speaking players of the game couldn't follow that very well. So a few days from now, I've been thinking that I wanted to do something similar in English. Of course, Nestor himself could have done it, but with all the, I guess that with all the work in his channel, all the gameplays that he uploads as well, and all the, of course, the real-life occupations that all of us have, that takes some time. So I thought, why not do it myself? Even though I'm not by far as good a player at this as Nestor is, or at any other game for that matter, I thought that I could at least try to, do this little, let's say, to have this contribution for all of the players who want to learn more about the game. So what I'm trying to do, what I'm going to do now, is to adapt the format of Nestor's video to try and cover the same sections as he did, and comment all of these details in English for all of those who cannot understand Spanish or who prefer to listen to it in English. Of course, if you excuse my level of English, my pronunciation and such, I will try to do my best, and I will try to be quick about it, or as quick as the game allows, because there's a lot of things to explain. There are a number of sections that I will cover, and I will try to do it in order. First of all, for those of you who have downloaded and started playing the game, well, you will see that there are a number of game modes. I will start talking about that first. Well, the main options menu and the game modes. Let's start there. I will of course edit this later, so you will see the cuts in the sections, and you can go for the section that you are interested in immediately. But well, let's start by the beginning. So this is the main game options menu. You will see that there's a start the game, options, how to play, Hall of Fame. This Hall of Fame is, well, just a high score list that you can check to see how you've been doing. The how to play is a small, so to say, list of the main features of the game, which in fact I will be covering in the following sections. You can check that if you want for any clarifications. It is in English too, so well, you can check that on your own. Then we have the options menu. There are a number here. Video options to, well, number of things to do here. You see, well, you can control to display the game in window mode. I have it in window because it's easier for me to record it that way. But when I do the final edit, you will see it full screen, so no problem there. Number of things here that you can mess around if you want to. Sound options. Just one small reminder here, as Nestor said in his video, the programmers have set the sound volume, the sound effects volume, and the music volume, so it sounds perfectly well, so it's well compensated and you don't have to touch it. If it's too loud for you, they recommend that you actually raise or lower the volume on your computer's sound mixer, and do not, instead of changing the values here. Okay, that's the recommendation, so that's what I'm going to do. screen to translate to you as well. Huh? Then control options. Gamepads enabled. Well, this game has been tested with a number of game pads and arcade sticks, because all the programmers of the game do love the original arcade feeling. And so far, it's been working well for me. I use a controller to play this. You can set up, as you can see here, the snaps. You can even set up a button to have a screenshot, a snapshot of the area or the boss you are facing or the Easter eggs you discover. So far no problems for me. So I encourage you to try it as well. Rumble, some of the controllers, have this, this vibrating function. I have it disabled. You can activate it if you want to. And of course there are max 4 players. So 4 of them can use either keyboard controllers. You can play hot seat. You can also play via online. Not really sure how to do that, but if I find out on how to do it, I could post another tutorial video about that. System options. I'm not going to mess around here because I have no idea what to do. Well, the only thing mentioned about the cheats. The programmers have disabled the cheats. This again, but does not have them because they wanted to keep it as close to the arcade experience as possible, and you did not have cheats over there. So that's their reason under mode. Okay. So this is the main options menu. Then if you go to start game, you will see a number of game modes available. Here about the load feature. The game will preserve for you the last game, the last iteration of your game. If you have to leave it mid-game, if you press pause, the pause menu, and leave game, quit game, the game will remember where you stop, and you will be able to resume the game later if you use the load game feature. If it's a game over, well, there will be no possibility to continue. So just for you to know that. The new game, you will go to the mode menu, and these are the different game modes that you can see. I haven't unlocked any of the big game modes yet because you have to finish the arcade mode, and I haven't done that yet, but I am practicing in order to do that. Let me talk very quickly about what they are. Okay, the arcade mode is a regular mode in which you can navigate the game through the different stages. In some cases you can also choose your paths, as you will see. I will try to show that to you later. And finish the game. Depending on your decisions and your path, on how well you perform, you will unlock a number of Easter eggs, a number of stages, and a number of secret bosses that could lead you to a number of different endings that the game has got. But I don't know a lot about that yet because I haven't finished the game myself. So there you are. Capcom All Stars includes stages from other franchises such as Cadillacs and Dinosaurs or Alien vs Predator. And the Capcom All-Star Special Mode does the same thing, but I seem to remember that in this case you can choose a path from those 2 games I mentioned, and in the Special Mode you have to play all the special and hidden stages in a row. As far as I know, I think that's how it works, but if you unlock these games, this game mode yourself, you can check on your own. Do not take my word for it because as you can see I haven't seen it yet. The boss rush, that's self-explanatory. The bosses in the game will come one after the other, so you can beat them up or they can beat you up. Okay? Versus mode is similar to Street Fighter mode, up to 4 players. I mean, you need at least 2 because there's no versus otherwise. Can play against each other, and it's like a free-for-all Royal Rumble, so that's up to you to choose. The Volley Bread, that's also a cooperative mode, and I will leave you to check that on your own. Basically, you also can play 2 players. You can do 3, you can do 4, but you should be an even number of players. So 2 versus 2 or 1 versus 1. So the thing is a bit compensated. Basically, you use Bread, the enemy, that guy Bread, as a ball that you can juggle from one side of the stage to the other, and score points every time Bread lands on the opposing team's areas. It's like a volleyball game, but using Bread as a ball. I mean, I'm not going to show it to you because I don't have anybody here to practice it with to show you, but have a look at that. You can have fun with that too. You can also here in the bonus stage practice, you can practice all the bonus, well, also self-explanatory. All the different bonus games that are in the game. Between stages, you can access bonus stages that remind you of the ones you found in Street Fighter or in Final Fight or all the other Capcom franchises. up for the stages. You can practice them here, so if you want to get a perfect score in them during, your in-game. The training mode, I will show that to you in a moment. That's where you are inside the ring with an enemy that is totally passive, so you can train your combos and your special and ultimate moves in there. And character history and move list shows you the roster of the characters that you have unlocked. Let's have a look at it. You see? Character history and move list. Let's learn everything about your favorite characters. Press punch button to start. There we go. This is the character roster that I have unlocked so far, which is the basic roster for the game. I haven't unlocked any hidden characters yet. These are the ones that you get to start, which are the characters from the Final Fight franchise. Final Fight 1, 2, and 3. They are here. Guy, Cody, Hagar, Carlos, Maki, Lucia, and Dean. And here you have all the Street Fighter characters from I think this is the new challengers. So Ryuken, Honda, Chun-Li, Blanca, Zangief, Guile, Dalsim, T-Hawk, Fei Long. This is DJ, yes, it was DJ, Kami, Balrog, Vega, Sagat, and Bison. So you see them here. There are other characters from the Street Fighter franchise, of course, but they are hidden around here. I will not spoil the fun for you. So if you are missing any of them, they are probably among the hidden ones. So for example, let's choose Ken, which is the character that I will use for this tutorial. There you go, you see a short biography and the inputs you need to use in order to use special and ultimate moves, okay? You can see that the game uses 3 buttons, attack, jump, and parry, and I will talk about them in a moment when we go into the move list section. That's what it is, okay? In order to leave this section, however, you need to press pause and do the end game, okay? Because if not, the game believes that this is another game mode, so you need to abandon your game actually in order to leave that move list section, okay? Now, well, this is the game mode section, and I think I'm moving on to the character stats section. In the character stats section, I will need to access the training mode, for example, in game, training, and we can select in the training which of these 2 we want to be tapped. And we can choose bread and we can choose bonus score. I don't know, I'll choose bread. And now we choose the character, but here is where I'm going to stop for a moment and talk about these character stats. You can see each character in the roster has got 4 basic stats, which are strength, speed, skill, stamina. I will very briefly tell you what each of them do. Strength is the raw power of the character, so that means the damage the character inflicts on opponents with basic combos, special, and ultimate moves. Okay, so the more strength the character has, I mean, the higher the stat, the more damage they do. It's as simple as that. So you can see Cody is mid strength, Guy has got less strength, and Hagar has got maximum strength, which is like 5. You can see 2 here, 3 there. Okay, so Hagar's attacks inflict much more damage on enemies than, for example, Guy's attacks. So that means that Guy needs to attack more times, or he needs to use a lot more special attacks in order to achieve the same results. If we talk about speed, speed is the speed, the velocity at which characters walk around the stage. You can see that Cody, for example, has got average speed. Guy is very fast when he moves, when he walks, and Hagar is quite slow when he walks. Why do I keep saying when he walks? Well, because characters in this game has got a running feature, and all characters in the game have the same running feature, the same running speed. So that means that slower characters can make up for their speed loss by running. So that will help you, move around the screen, escape enemies when they are surrounding you. Okay, so the programmers decided that all characters should run at the same speed in order to give this advantage, the small advantage, to the ones that are slower. Okay, characters whose walking speed is faster maybe don't need to rely a lot on running, but they can still use running for juggling and combos and moving around the screen. Just for you to test that. Okay. This skill stat, let me talk a bit in depth about that. All characters have got a power gauge. The power gauge, I will show it to you in a moment in the following section. The power gauge fuels your character's special and ultimate moves, so it will deplete it as long as you keep on using those moves. So this skill stat indicates the speed at which your special points replenish. Let's say that you use a lot of special moves and your special points are near 0. So, for example, Guy replenishes 3 special points every second because skill is 3. Cody has the same, but for example, Hagar has skill 2. That means that he recovers 2 special points per second. Carlos recovers 4 special points per second because he's got skill 4. Maki also has skill 4. Lucia has 5. Lucia would recover 5 skill points per second. So you will see that in a moment when I show you the H.U.D of the game. So just for you to know that if a character has got a high skill, they can rely on using special moves and ultimate moves much more often than the characters who don't. Okay. And finally, stamina is the number, the amount of health points that a character has. You will see that all characters have a health points bar that is equal in length, but that's only the visuals. I mean, some characters have got 100 health points, and others have 120, and in practice that means that a character with stamina 1 will suffer more from the enemy's attacks that a character with, for example, stamina 4 as Dean is. So you will notice that a character with low stamina will lose a bigger chunk of health from the bar than other characters that have higher stamina. Okay, that's basically what the 4 stats do. And by choosing the character, which will be Ken, I will move on to the following section, the H.U.D.
I'm ready for you. Bring it on.
So here we'll talk about the H.U.D. You will see we are in the training area with the referee and with Brett, which will just move around the screen and will not attack. So that will be okay. That will be perfect for me to talk about the H.U.D. If you see, the H.U.D shows a number of stats up there on the top left. You can see it. Score is now 0. You will get points. You will get score when you defeat enemies, when you hit enemies, when you defeat them, and when you pick up some score objects, score items that you will see in a moment when I show you the actual arcade mode. Okay. Also there you can see the life gauge, which is scanned with the name of your character. Next to the portrait, there's the blue the blue, but also the yellow one. The yellow gauge, which is bigger, contains health points, and it will decrease whenever you receive enemy attacks. You will see that Brett here will not attack me, so I will not lose any health points. Under the health bar, you will see the special bar, as I told you before. The special bar has a visual representation in blue, but also a number. That 300 is the special points when the character's level is maxed out, but a starting character will have quite a lot less special points. Okay, and they will deplete when we use special attacks. Under that, you will also see the 0, which is the number of lives that you have left, the lives of the character. When you lose all your health points, when the yellow bar reaches 0, is totally depleted, you will lose 1 life, and if you already have 0 lives, that will mean game over. Okay, and next to that, under it, you will have that's the empty bar, which is the experience bar. As you go accumulating points and defeating enemies, this special experience bar will fill up, and when it's totally filled up, you will gain 1 level. Okay, I will talk more about this H.U.D and points and levels and bars in the following game mode. I will leave this one now. Yes, and move on to the actual arcade mode to show to you how these stats work in game. And apart from that, I will also tell you about items. I will talk about how to collect items and what items do in game, also in that section. Okay. Okay, this is the arcade section, and you can choose the different difficulty levels. I think I will take a moment, I didn't do it before, but I think I will take a moment to talk about these game modes. I should have done it before I realized, but I will talk about these game modes here and tell you what they do. Well, this is the where you can select your arcade difficulty level, and these modes change a little bit. You can also get that information by pushing here on the icon, information icon under each of the modes. You will see the differences. For example, the easy or beginner mode grants you 3 starting lives. You get 1 life every 100,000 points, and you can also collect 1-up items along the way, so you will be able to regain lost lives. You can also continue up to 10 times, and whenever you use a credit, when you use a continue, you can also switch the character that you were using. So you can switch from Cody to Agar, for example, from Ken to Ryu, or whatever you want, okay? As long as you still have credits left. All bosses have low aggressiveness. That means that they will be less prone to attack you when you face them. Normal or classic mode. Here you can see that you have only 2 starting lives. You can gain as many as 2 lives, but no more than that, by getting 200,000 points and then 500,000 points, but no more than that. There are no 1-up items along the way. I think that a feature from the classical Final Fight, you could not collect 1-up items, even though you could gain lives by scoring a certain amount of points. There's only 1 credit. I mean, you start in credit, you cannot continue, and as Nestor said, the programmer of this game, who also made the other tutorial in Spanish, he said that made him think about those afternoons in the arcade parlor, in which he only had 1 coin and he needed to get good in the game because he knew he couldn't use the continue feature because he had no more money to spare. So he wanted to do that here as well, and that's why you cannot continue in normal or classic mode. From stage 5 onwards, bosses will have high aggressiveness. That means that the later bosses in the game will attack you more often and will use their special and ultimate moves on you. And yes, they do have those as well. Hard or crap mode. So why is this called like that? And why is there an icon like that in the game? Well, you will see. The features are exactly the same as in the classical mode that we have already seen, but with the added difficulty that every food item that appears in the game or that is dropped by an enemy will be replaced by, well, by that, which you can see. And if you collect one of those items, not only will you not regain any health, you will lose a little. So, apart from having to navigate the game without picking up those items in order not to, you know, harm yourself, you will have to manage your health points very well. I will talk a little bit about that in the following section. So this may seem like very difficult to do, but it's not so much. I will talk more about that in a moment. Ultra hard mode includes the same features as before, but all enemies, that means bosses and no bosses, regular enemies as well, have high aggressiveness. Every enemy in the game will be ready to attack you immediately and wreck you, so you need to be very careful there. Finally, the Musou mode is difficult, but in a different way, because it's not that the enemies are very aggressive, it's that there are a load of them. You can see that you have more lives to start, you can get more lives with points, there's no limit as how many lives you can get. You can also pick up 1-up items along the way. You cannot continue, and bosses will only be more aggressive after stage 5. But the problem here is double-fold. No matter how many players are playing this, you will always face an amount of numbers that equals the maximum, as if there were 4 players in game. So if you are playing alone, you will still have to face enemies as if there were 3 other players with you. Not only that, but you will also have 2 bosses at the end of every stage. That means that the boss will be a twin boss. There will be 2 big bosses at the end of every stage, besides all the regular enemies that usually accompany those bosses. So this is really hectic and tons of fun to play. I really recommend you try this a few times just to see how it is. And it works very well as training too, because you really need to be on your toes and not relax. Alright, so that's it for the arcade difficulty levels. Let's go on. Now I select, for example, the easy or beginner mode to show you more about how the stats work in game, how the health points, the special gauge and the experience gauge work in game. And I will take advantage and talk about items in game as well. Let's go. Here, let's select our character. I didn't mention it before, but if you push up or down here in this screen, you can choose the palette, the colors of the character you want to use. Let's go black.
I'm ready for you. Bring it on.
There, this is the opening that you remember from the original Final Fight, and they have thrown in parts of the intro of Final Fight 2 and 3 from Super NES as well. But I will actually skip this to go on for the real deal, since we are interested in other things now. I'll let this for you to watch when you load the game. Here we are. Okay, so this is the real arcade. Yeah, we have seen this ha 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 thing a lot of times before. So, what do we need to know? So look at my life points. Okay, when an enemy attacks me, you see life will decrease. Oh, there you go, it decreases. You saw that? Okay, so now I'm hurt. Okay, and if I use my regular moves, okay, so running, jumping, dodging, that will not deplete my special gauge. But if I use special moves, you see that I have a Hadouken point blank. My special gauge, you see, it was blue, now it's blue because it's full. But if I use specials, it will deplete. More specials, I jump to avoid you, Hadouken, you see? It's depleting. It's oh, I can jump on these things. Isn't it nice? Yay! Oh yeah, they can punch me in the legs. Okay, but I can attack you too. You see that I defeated an enemy and my experience bar, the third of the bars counting from the top. You see, I defeat enemies, and that cyan, that's the color I think. That fair blue bar is getting filled. You see. When it fills, I will gain a level. See? It's filling. You see how it's filling? Okay, so it's almost full now, and I'm level 1. When it fills, I will be level 2. What will happen? Well, two things will happen. My life bar, which is quite empty now, will refill. So, if you are playing in a game mode which doesn't allow food, as I said before, or you are very low on health and there's no food around, or any other of your fellow players needed food more than you can level up, you can strive to defeat more enemies or to do bigger combos, earn more points, and then gain a level to replenish. You will see that I can do it here with items. This is a coin, and this is look, that looks like a military helmet. Look at what will happen. Okay, there you are, level up. So I replenished my health. I also gained health points. It's not reflected on the health bar because there's not a numeric value, but I have more health points than I had before. I can withstand more attacks now. You can see that my special points also raised. I have 105 points now. I had 100 before, so level up gives you more special points. And now this level 2 will continue, to fill up. Look, you see, a big chunk up to reach onto level 3. Now let me talk about those items I collected. When we are talking about score items, these items go into different ranges. So there will be items that will award a few points. There will be items that will award more points. Okay, but for example, here you could see that there was a coin and a military helmet. Okay, so these items belong to a range of, for example, the coin belongs to the low score range, and the helmet belongs to the high score range. That means that on a different game we will probably get different drops here, but they will be equivalent in points. So for example, I didn't count, but if this coin was worth 500 points, any other item that I can loot from that barrel later on other games, on different games, will always be worth the same amount of points. Even if the icon, even if the picture itself for the icon is different, they will have a similar value in points. So you can use that to calculate, especially if you play with more than one player, to calculate who needs to level up, who needs to collect which items, and who needs to leave those items for other players, and so on and so forth. Okay, Just a little mention on that. The same thing applies for food items. For example, look here. You see, that's a coffee or a hot chocolate or whatever. That belongs to the range of low health items. So let them attack me. Oh, you kicked me. You attack me? Attack me? Oh, you see, so now I will collect that chocolate, you see? And it replenished a little bit. But if it had been another item, it would have replenished more. It doesn't matter, but because whatever things dropped in this barrel will always be a low health item. No, doesn't matter if it's chocolate, bubblegum, a little piece of, fruit or whatever. Okay? So there, you will see that there will be other items here. You see, again the military helmet, but it could have been a different picture and it would have been worth the same amount of points. You see? I think that was 2000 or something like that. I didn't count it, but... And I will level up again. Let's watch the second level up. Come on! Level up! You see, now I have 110 special points and I have replenished as well. Well, I think I had a, a little injury from before and it has replenished. So that's basics about items and H.U.D. Okay? Now, let's go on for, I will go back to the training mode to talk about special, regular moves, special moves, and ultimate moves. See you in the next section. Okay, we are in the next section now. I'm going to talk about regular moves, special moves, and ultimate moves, and other things you can do in game. And for that, we will use a training ring. You can choose Bread or Bonus Coon. Let's choose Bread because he's used to us beating him up. And of course I'll choose Ken. Let's go White now.
I'm ready for you.
Training. You see your training uniform. Well, if you have watched the Assassin's Fist, you know that Ken even trained with his red gi as usual. So that doesn't make any difference. Anyway, well, you can see moving, walking left and right, and you can run if you double tap in any direction. You see I'm running, double tap left, double tap right, and it doesn't deplete your special gauge. So you can run around as much as you want, you can walk, and you can also jump. By jumping, you can neutral jump, okay? You can also forward jump. You see, when you walk, you jump, you jump, you jump. And if you run, you can also jump, but you will see that the jump is not as tall, doesn't reach as high, see, but it reaches a longer distance. So the difference between walking jump is higher, and running jump goes farther. Okay. Another thing you can do is the backward jump. That is a feature that already existed in Final Fight, the original Final Fight. When doing a neutral jump, you press backwards immediately. Like immediately, you can back jump. Just backwards jump. Backward jump. You see it? Backward jump. Just by jumping and immediately pushing backwards, that means the direction in which your character is not looking. Okay? That doesn't replenish, that doesn't deplete your special gauge either. There are some characters that can do the off-wall jumping. Ken cannot do it, but if you are jumping against a wall and you press jump again on the opposite direction, your character will jump. Will use the wall to jump in the opposite direction. I can probably select another character later to show that to you. But for now, let's continue here. So we talked about running, walking, jumping, backward jumping. Let's talk about, for example, dodging. If you double tap, you see, up and down, up, down, a quick double tap as if you were running, that will help you dodge. This move doesn't grant you any invincibility. It's very fast, you can use it to dodge or to gain a new position if you are being surrounded, but if an enemy attacks you, is quick enough to attack you, he can hit you, okay? Another feature about running is that you can run diagonally, you see? Yay! But you cannot turn while running. I mean, if you try to turn, you will stop, okay? Yay! So if you want to run in circles, you cannot, because as soon as your character tries to turn, he will not run any longer, okay? He will stop running. So yay! Diagonals. But if you try to go backwards, you will stop. You can also run, jump, and then continue running if you keep the directional button pressed. Yeah, jump, and I keep running. Yeah, jump, and I keep running. So it's good to move around the screen, eh? Yay! Yay! Okay, so you see, characters which have a high speed rating can move quite, you see, I can relocate quite quickly without running, but other characters which are slower, such as Hagar or, hey, no, don't grab him. Hagar or Zangief or other characters which are slower will need to run probably in order to have this advantage. So this about running or moving around. That's almost everything you need to know. We'll tell you about the up jump later and so on. And there are also some characters that have special types of jump. The Predators, for example, I kind of blew it up for you, but some of the unlockable characters are the Predators from the Alien vs Predator franchise. They can do weird things with jumping as well, and they can like slide on the ground or something like that. I don't remember. They can do weird things. I have never played with them. I haven't unlocked them yet, but I know that there are other characters that have special things they can do with jumps and weird things that you can discover for yourselves. I will have to leave that for you to discover because I cannot show you yet. Anyway, so that's all about moving. Let's talk about regular attacks, okay? So you can use your attack button. You have attack, jump, and parry. If you use your attack on an enemy a number of times, you will release an auto combo. That means that you will change some attacks between 3 and 5 attacks to hurt your enemy easily and reliably. I'm not really sure. This is something that I should have to check. I'm not really sure if the characters which have more speed also tend to have more attacks in their auto combo. I'm not really sure, but that's something we could actually check. I'm not really sure. So, see, up to 5 attacks. Oh yes. You see? So by pushing your attack button a number of times, you will release an auto combo. You see, the last attack in the auto combo is always the one that hurts the most. So it's recommendable to finish your combos whenever you can. Sometimes you will be surrounded by enemies and it will not be possible, but you see, 5 attacks for full damage. You can also try and do a punch lock. If you stop for a moment, you can chain attacks and never finish the combo like this. But that's dangerous. Well, I will talk about that in a moment. It's dangerous because some enemies which are very aggressive, if you are playing in a high aggressivity mode like ultra hard, it will be very difficult to do. See, like resetting the combo. You see, in the end, wow. In any case, you can also grab the enemy. If you walk or run up to an enemy, you will grab them, and then you can attack up to 3 times. I don't know if there are other characters that attack more than 3 times when they grab, and the last attack always hurts more. So if you can finish that combo of 3 hits, you will inflict more damage on the enemy. Other things that you can do while you grab. While you grab, you can throw your enemies. I grab, I press backwards and attack. Well, if you press backwards, you will break the grab. So I grab the guy, I press backwards, I break the grab, okay? But if you press backwards and attack, you will throw the enemy, you see? Don't wait a lot to press the attack button because you will break the grab. Huh? Sometimes you will want to break the grab if you are being surrounded. Okay? Or you can, instead of backwards, you can press in the same direction in which you are looking, and you will do a different grab. I mean, some animations may be different, but you can see that the damage is always 10. Okay, this is 10, and this is 10. Okay. Another thing that you can do, let me tell you, is that you can chain your auto combo with a grab. That comes in very handy when you are being surrounded by enemies and you want to get rid of them. So throwing an enemy onto other enemies will clear your path. Look, you do it like this. You start an auto combo, and when you are going to unleash your last attack in the auto combo, you press either up or down while you attack. you will grab the enemy and you will throw them. You can do that from quite afar. It's a bit like a kata throw from Street Fighter. Look there. You see? By pressing down when I timed the last attack, I threw the enemy. I will do it again. You see, I grabbed him from quite far away. I was quite far away from him, look. But I still grabbed him. Okay? So that's what you do when you press either up or down when you finish your auto combo. You see? That can be useful if you want to, you know, knock down the enemies that are surrounding you. Okay? That's what was called the Capcom combo, and it was a feature already in the first Final Fight. Whoops, that was a mistake because I somehow delayed the combo, but you can still do it, eh? I think that you can still do it even if you delay the combo. Let me see. Yes, you can. You see? Okay. What else? Jumping attacks. You can also do jumping attacks. Okay. So I jump, I kick. This jump kick can knock down your enemy. Look, you see? I can knock down the enemy. The neutral kick also knocks down the enemy. You see? Neutral knocks down. Forward knocks down. Even backwards, you will see. I will try to do it. The backwards jump with a kick will also knock down the enemy. You see? So that can be useful to set up combos, eh? So if I do something like this, you see, oh, nice, nice. You can do the same thing by running, eh? You see? You can run and you can still attack, and you can set up combos. Whoops. Oh, well, yeah, the running attack, I didn't show that to you, but instead of jumping, you just run and attack. That also works, eh? Run, attack. And run, attack. Jump, attack, and attack. You see, you can chain them, because remember that when you jump, you will still run. Eh? If you press the button, you will not stop, so that can be useful. Hey, and combo, and combo, and combo, and combo. Well, but this belongs in the subject of juggling, and we will talk about that at a later section. I wanted to say something else. What was it? Running, jumping. I'm missing something. I don't know if well, yeah, I'm missing the fact that there are some characters that have aerial grabs. I mean, if you're jumping and an enemy is mid-air, you can also use a grab in mid-air, but those tend to be special attacks, and you can also experience with that. If you check that move list, you will see which character have got grab attacks. Okay, they also have mid-air attacks. Whoops. Ah, yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I will talk about that in a moment. No, let him go. Whoops. Okay, that was the other thing. When you jump, you have this attack. It's also an air attack, but it doesn't knock down the enemy. Oh, I failed. Wait, you see? This doesn't knock down the enemy, even though it's an air attack. Why? Because I'm pressing down plus attack in the air. No, let him go. Down plus attack. That can be useful to set up combos too. Look, if you do it neutral, it works the same. You see? It does the same thing. You can set up combos with that. You see? Like the regular, the weak air attack and the regular attack, you can combo that. Oops, I failed. You could also do that in the original Final Fight, at least with Guy, which was the fastest character. Oops, I failed again. Ah, there you go. You see? You can do that. And if you do that while running, you can still chain up a bigger combo. See? There you go. There. Yeah, so I talked about almost everything I wanted to. So I think that takes care about all the movement and regular attacks your character can do. If I forget something, probably any of the programmers, if they watch this, or any of the players which have discovered it, they can add with a comment, you name it, okay? So I think we are ready to go on to the following section and talk about special attacks. But for that, we will need to be in a game mode in which enemies actually attack us. Okay, so let's change the mode and go on to the following section. Okay, now in order to talk about special attacks, we'll need to go onto the arcade, but I will choose easy again. And I will skip the intro. I will just jump right after choosing the character. I will, edit that for you so you don't have to watch the intro. Okay.
I'm ready for you. Bring it on.
Here we are. Okay, so now let's talk about special attacks. As you saw in the how to play and in the move list section, you can use attack, jump and parry in order to unleash a number of special attacks. This is the regular combo. Okay, we have already talked about that, but I will eliminate one of the enemies, so I only have one of them, so I can talk to you about them. Okay, two of them? No. I want to have one enemy on screen. There, hello Jake. Okay, special attacks. For example, Hadouken. Oops, point blank on that bin. This Hadouken, well, I like Ken a lot, but other characters have other projectile attacks. The good thing about projectile attacks is that they give you distance, but they don't hurt a lot. Whoops, I failed. But because they have, the advantage of distance, right? They help you keep a distance. What other thing? Say something about these distance attacks. I don't know what well, some characters do not have distance attacks. Huh? But well, there you are. There I leveled up, as we saw before. Okay, hey, careful. I will talk more about that hit recovery later. But that pops out, like by reflex now, after playing a number of times. But we will talk about them later. Other special attacks. So we have the Hadouken. Yeah, I know what I wanted to say. This Hadouken is different from the one in Street Fighter. You can change them, you see? There can be more than one Hadouken on screen. I don't need the first Hadouken to impact before I need to release another one. You see? As long as I have mana, I can keep throwing Hadoukens if I want to, okay? Or mana, or a special gauge, or magic, or however you want to call it. Okay, lots of people again. Bye. You see the food, as we talked about before. Okay, another special attack. For example, this one. Notice how special attacks impact more than once. Well, not the Hadouken, but... Whoops, no, the other way. You see? Up to 3 times. The closer you are, usually, the more effective special attacks are. No, I mean, this controller of mine has this habit of making the character turn around. Remember when I practiced Final Fight? On a very first video in my channel? That happened to me too. It's this controller. It's the same controller I'm using. Okay? So that's how Shoryuken. The closer, usually special attacks, the closer, the more they hurt. Come on, and they can juggle and they can set up. Come on again. There you go. If you do this with your keyboard, you will not have this problem. Okay, so that was those are 2 of the special attacks that Ken has. Let's show the rest of them. For example, the Tatsumaki Senpukyaku, that's really good for comboing. Tons of attacks, tons of damage, and tons of combos. Again, come on, come closer. You see, it will be more effective the closer I am. Oops, you see, they can also block. You know how these enemies are, remember they are known for their, parrying abilities. Well, that's a Tatsumaki, okay? And I will show the Chigo Chagi. This one, you see? There you go, you see? It attacks or hits 3 times in quick succession, and it can also set enemies up for combos as well. So these are the 4 special attacks that Ken has, okay? Your characters, the ones you choose, if you choose Hagar, Guy, Cody, Maki, whoever it is, hey, go there. You can use some of the attacks I showed to you before. Yeah. Okay. Special there. Special there. You see, fatties usually drop food. I didn't tell you, when we talked about items, I forgot about that. The fatty guys usually drop food items. Well, sometimes there's a 50% chance to drop that they drop an item. Poison. If they do drop the item, it could be a big replenish, a small replenish, it depends. It could also be, well, other types of items. You will see. Let's use it. Okay. And then, let's talk about the ultimate attacks. Okay, ultimate attacks. Wait, where are you going? The ultimate attacks. For example, hey, you deserve one. There you go. Shoryurepa. That was one. And now you can see that my power gauge is almost depleted because the special attack costs 100 special points against your regular special attacks, which cost 20. There you go, or 15. I'm not really sure if it's 15 or 20. There you go. Chuggy as well. They are specials and they cost. But if I replenish, you see, I level up, I replenish my gauge, and I can show you the second special attack, which is Shinryuken. So what's the difference? If we check these special attacks, whoops. If we check these special attacks in the training mode, okay, you will see that Shoryurepa does 75 damage, and that Shinryuken does 80 damage. And your question might be, why? Why does that happen? Why does one special attack cause more damage than the other? Well, the answer is simple. One of them has got a lot more range. For example, Shoryurepa, as you have seen. Whoops. Stop it. You see? Shoryurepa has got a lot of range. It crosses quite a big part of the screen, but it causes less damage. On the other hand, Shinryuken needs to be used very close to the enemy, so it's a bigger risk. But on, the counterpart is that it damages the enemies more. I can show that to you in the training difficulty mode. So, well, the training, it's not a difficulty mode, it's something that you can use. Here, I want to show that to you. Oops, sorry, it's like that. You will see. Other characters have other special attacks, and you need to check that on your own. But if I come here and I do not that.
Oh my god!
See, as I said, 75. Because it covers more distance. But if I use Shinryuken, no, that's not Shinryuken, that's Tatsumaki. It also, as you can see, actually that goes for the Tatsumaki as well, because it hits a lot of times, but it does little damage every time. Why? Because it has that advantage of juggling a lot of enemies and moving you through the screen. That's the same thing that Shoryurepa does. You move, but there's less damage. Instead, if you use the Shinryuken, does more damage, you can see, but it's static, you stay in the same place. So that's the risk to consider. If you're surrounded by enemies and by a boss, you might want to move around, get far from them, okay? But take into account that these special attacks that cover a distance, if they don't hit, as you could see, if they don't hit anybody, they are wasted. Same as the other one. If I do this, no, I didn't do that. No, I'm trying and it's not working. There, you see, I didn't hit anybody. I wasted my points, my special points. I wasted them totally. So when the enemy lands on the ground, you can see I recover, so I can keep practicing. Okay, you see. I didn't hit anybody. Whoops. Whoops. Nope. But well, that you see. Ooh, that was hurtful. That was a big juggling. But you can also do that. I will talk more about combos later. Well, I wanted to talk to you about this You can see how specials and regular attacks work. Well, we already covered that. And now I want to talk about one other feature in the game, which are parries, counters, and recoveries. That will be in the next section. Alright, for that, in order to talk about parries and counters and recoveries, I will also need enemies that can attack me. So let's go back to the arcade mode. Let's choose easy again. Let's make that mistake all the time. There we go.
I'm ready for you. Bring it on.
So let's skip that again. And now you could see that you also have a parry button that helps you block enemy attacks. But every time you try to parry, you will lose 20 special points. You see, I'm trying to parry. Nobody's attacking me. I'm losing points. Let's get rid of one of these guys. Okay, Bread, try to attack me. Attack me. No, doesn't want to attack me. Jake, you do? Hey! No, I'm very bad at this, eh? You can see that I'm very bad at this. So it will be difficult for me to show it to you. There, you see, I parried. If you time it correctly, you will parry the enemy attack and you will regain some special points. You were fast. I parried again. If you parry and you immediately press the attack button, you will do a counter. Oops. Like that. It was the level up in the middle, but let's try to do it again. I was too slow. I'm going to try it again. Oh, I need to be faster. But you saw it. I managed to do it at least once, eh? No. Now I will do it again. You see, it's easier with the level up because there's a small pause, but you can do it. Oops. You saw it at least twice, so I'm happy with that. Okay, well, you're there. Now, well, you saw that it can be done, okay? So it's because of my poor skills that I cannot show it more often to you. Let's... What I can do is use the recovery, which you see me using all the time. How do you use the recovery? It's very important. I mean, parries are all nice and beautiful, but the only thing that parries do is that they are a testimony of how poor a player you are. Recoveries are much more useful. Whenever you are knocked down, if you press up and attack immediately, you will perform a recovery move. I will do it now. But you need to be knocked down. You see? I was being knocked down by Axel here. Come on, go away. I want more enemies to test it. I will do it now when they attack me again, okay? You see? Oh, score points. You see that the icons are different sometimes? No, Axel, I don't want you. You are a bad enemy to test this with, because you have a tendency to punch me. And I don't want you to punch me, I want you to do like hurtful attacks. You see? Now that they are knocking me down, if I press up and attack, I will do that kind of Tatsumaki that will, remove me from their distance, from their influence, and will hopefully knock them down. That doesn't cost any mana or life. It's very important because it doesn't cost any special points. It doesn't cost any special gauge or life. It doesn't deplete your life, and it will. The most important feature about that special attack is that it will save you from the enemy juggling. If they start juggling you, that will interrupt their juggling. That's the way to avoid an endless combo by the enemies. If the enemies start comboing you in the air, use up and attack immediately. Now there are more enemies, I will be able to show it to you. No, I wanted, you see, I wanted to walk under poison. You see, there. You see how important that is? Because enemies could start juggling you. Huh? You see, that's using up and punch. Or up and attack, rather. You see, I did it again to show you. Let's see if I can parry this fat guy. You see? I don't know why I cannot. No, I'm trying to do the recovery, that counter thing, and it's not working. But well, anyway, these fat guys are easier to parry because you can see them coming from afar. Well, anyway, that's what I wanted to show you. I don't know, I'm not really sure if you can parry the knives. I might try. Yeah, you can parry knives. Oh, useful to know. Oh, well, there you go. Huh? If they catch you in the middle of a special, it's more difficult. Well, so that was it. Oh no, I wanted to show you. There's another thing about recovery that I need to show you. Let's go back. Let's backtrack a bit so I can show it to you. Here we have backtracked, and you can see that I have a different character now. I chose Cody because I pressed punch very quickly on the character select screen. But I can still show you what I wanted to. If the enemies, well, remember that you can do the. You see, there you are. You see how Cody can do the recovery too. But imagine that you are not fast enough to do the recovery while you are still in the air. When you are on the ground, if you press up and attack on the ground, when you wake up, when you get up from the ground, your character will perform a recovery move as well. Let them knock me down. There you are. I didn't push it, but now you see I press up and attack, and when I wake up from the ground, when I get up, there you are. I can still do the recovery. Okay. So let this guy knock me down. Come on, you can do it. There you are. Now up and attack. Oh, it didn't work. I think you have to do it just before you land. I will try. There you are, exactly. Just when you land, if you do it, you will get up with a recovery attack. Just when you land. Perfect. So these two, the air recovery and the ground recovery, are the same as your special recovery move, but that one, the special recovery move that we all know by pressing the attack and jump at the same time, this, as you can see, this costs you a small amount of health. The ones that you do in the recovery do not cost you health, so you can still use this one if you need to. Okay, you can still use this. But, I mean, remember that you have it, but the ground recovery and the air recovery are basic, especially to prevent enemies from juggling you. You see? Because maybe you will never reach the ground if they start juggling you, so you need to be able to break their combo. You do that with the air recovery, okay? Oh, what a shout, man! You're a drama queen. Okay, so that takes care about parry, counter, and recovery. And now the last section, I think. Well, I seem to remember that Nestor's full tutorial was somehow longer. And I'm not really sure if left anything out. Well, I think I do remember that he showed a lot more moves with a number of characters and the air grabs that I couldn't show you here, but I could try to show you about the air grabs. Well, I'm not really sure. Yeah, I think, let me try. I will try to show you about the air grabs. That should have been in the previous section before the parry, counter, and recovery, but well, I think it's never late, so let's do that. Let's see, since I'm quite bad at it, but for example, one of the characters that has the air grab is Gale. Mission start. So, Those air grabs, well, the point is that you need to be in the air, but the enemy needs to be in the air too. So the first thing is that you need an airborne enemy. There you go. So you can combo this actually. Some enemies jump towards you like the poisons and so on, but you can also, you need, oops, I failed. You see how the character tried to do that kind of, there you are. If I jump, you see, when I jump, if I, in this case, you do that with the parry button. If I jump and parry, I will try to grab. You see that Gale does this hand gesture, trying to grab the enemy. So the enemy is not there, you will not grab him. But if the enemy is there, you perform the air grab and you can, you know, combo that air grab with other things. Ooh, I failed, but you can do that. No, the enemy is the other way. Come on, do the attack. No, I'm failing, but well, you could do, no, other, yeah, there you go. You see how you can juggle. Well, we can juggle because there's a wall here. But well, I just wanted to show you how air grabs work. Characters that do have air grabs do, you know, you can do them like that. Yay, and well, if you are good playing, you can do, you know, longer combos. But anyway, just I wanted to show you that to you, okay? After this, I think that it would be a good moment to do the final section, which is the comboing, I think. As I said, I'm leaving things out, other things that Nestor included in his tutorial, because he knows a lot more about the game, because, well, he was one of the guys making the game. But I think I included most of the important things. Okay. Finally, I would like to talk about comboing and juggling. Okay, so that will be in the next and last section. Alright, and in this last section we go to the training mode again. We select one of the opponents, Brett for example, and we select our character. And let's talk a bit about the comboing system in this game. This game is different than other games you may have seen. I mean, other beat'em ups, because beat'em ups are not that big on juggling. We have seen juggling. I'm not saying it right. What I mean is that, for example, fighting games like one-on-one games such as Street Fighter actually include the comboing by accident. You remember that comboing in Street Fighter, like the typical combo of jumping, kicking the face, a strong kick, and then sweeping, kicking the ground, was a combo that people used that was not intended to be in the game originally, but the programmers saw what they had got and they decided to leave it in there. Also, juggling, attacking an enemy that is in the air and has no chance of, you know, defending themselves, is a feature that is not in a lot of 1 versus 1 games, because that makes things unfair for the player who is hit first. If a good player can juggle and combo for a very long time, the opposing player has no chance whatsoever of doing anything. Then, in this game, that's not the issue. Actually, this is a game that encourages comboing and juggling a lot. You can hit an enemy multiple times, combo and then hit and hit. You can see, as long as the enemy doesn't hit the ground, you can. Oh, well, and even if they hit the ground, you can see. And I do this, and this, and this, and this, and I face the wrong way again because my controller is precious, but you see what I mean? I mean, this is what comboing and juggling do to this game. And I do that, and this, no, and I'm failing, but I'm very, very bad comboing, but I do that, and I do that. You see, you can do long combos as long as the enemy doesn't touch the ground. This, that, and this, and this, and this, again, and that again, and again, and another thing here, and there you go, and blah blah, and you see, and hit, and hit, and hit, and hit, and hit. And this never finishes as long as you can continue comboing the enemy. But did you hear that? I don't know if you hear that, but there was a voice, a girly voice that said, "Oops, no more juggling." What does this mean? Okay. This means that each enemy in the game has got a value, a juggling value. Okay, and every attack that you chain upon an enemy depletes that juggling value. So, when you overcome the juggling value of an enemy, even if you still keep hitting the guy, there will be no more comboing. Okay, so you need to work with that. You see what I did there? I didn't leave the enemy touch the ground. And again, and again, and again, and the Chigo-Chagi, and then and more punches, and the Shoryuken, and blah blah blah. And I missed that one, but you see the amount of damage that you can inflict by comboing? This game is ready, this game is hardwired to encourage you comboing as much as possible. Of course, you can see that I can combo this enemy because there are walls on both sides. In the regular game, sometimes you will not have walls, but you will not be able to do the infinite comboing, okay? Okay, so learn about that. Another thing that you need to know about, that you may have seen a moment ago, is the cancelling. You can cancel a special move into another special move. What does that mean? So look, I do, for example, the Tatsumaki, and I stop Tatsumaki to do a Shoryuken, because I want to do it that way. If you want to cancel in order to improve your combos, you can do that. I'm trying to do it with the Hadouken, but it's not working. I don't know if the Hadouken can be cancelled. But it can definitely be done with the Shoryuken and the Tatsumaki. And I'm going to try and do it. No, it's power and what? No, the other way. It didn't work now. Sometimes I've done it, eh? No, like that. Well, I cannot do it now. It's not working, but you can cancel. You saw that I did it. I did. Whoops. Not working now, but I did it before. But if you are quick enough to input, which I'm not, I did it, by chance before. No. Ah, there you go. Now I managed to do it. You can cancel one special into another special. Let me see if I can do it with the Chigo-Chagi. No, I didn't do it because the enemy grabbed. There, you see? And then I cancel the Tatsumaki into Hadouken, and then you can chain these things. Whoops, well I missed there, but you get the idea, right? The cancelling and the comboing and the juggling, all of them get together so you can defeat the enemies faster, because there are a lot of enemies. It encourages you comboing and juggling the enemies in the air. Be careful, because as we said before, ooh, I missed that one, but that would have been wonderful. Ah, now I did it, you see? In any case, remember that the enemies can juggle you too, and for that you need to use the air recovery and the ground recovery so they don't do that, okay? Let me show it to you in a different way, because I want to show you the same way that Nestor did it in his tutorial. Let me go back for a moment. You can see this, if you go to the options, the video options, is it this? No, it's not here, it's in the system options. Debug settings and collision attack and collision body. Okay, you enable this and you will be able to see the hitboxes and the attack boxes, which is I think how they are called. Okay. So
I'm ready for you.
You will see.
Bring it on.
There, those blue boxes on the sprites are the areas in which a character can be hit. And when I attack, you see, that red box is my attack box. If the red box collides with the blue box, that means attack hits. You see? And some of them are bigger, so harder attacks, you see? Look at them. What does that mean? You see that the Tatsumaki attacks forward and backward. That means that if enemies try to approach me from behind, I could hit them too. Look at the hitbox of the Shoryuken. You see? And here, and you see? Look. Oh, I missed. I hate my controller. No, I want to show you how, if you overcome the juggling value, the juggling limit, how the blue box of the enemy disappears. I mean, if he's in the ground, look, he's in the ground. He has got no box, and now he has got no box. While he's stunned on the ground, I stun him. Look, he's in the ground, no box. I cannot attack him like that. See? I can now, but now, you see, I'm not hitting him because he hasn't got any hitbox. But now he has it, and I can juggling him forever until I overcome the juggling value. And when I do that, you will see that his box will disappear. Oops, oh, that's because I missed. I will try to show it to you, okay? Same thing as Nestor did. I will try to overcome the juggling value of the enemy, so he will lose his hitbox momentarily, so I cannot juggle him anymore, so I cannot abuse the feature there. No more juggling, did you hear it? It's no more juggling. This no more juggling feature, you need to take into account that the bosses of the game, the final enemy for each stage has got a very low juggling value. You cannot juggle the bosses infinitely. You cannot do it. You will be able to hear that no more juggling a lot of times when you fight the bosses. That means that their juggling value has been overcome for the present combo. Okay, so you will have to find other strategies. Well, I think that's basically everything I wanted to tell to you about in this remake and summary of Nestor's tutorial. No more juggling, there you go. You see? That's what I wanted to show you. So you see the inner workings of the game as Nestor showed them to us the other day. His excellent tutorial. At some point you will also hear the computer saying super combo and ultra combo, they say something like that. That's because you have reached 40 hits in a row or 80 hits in a row. But that doesn't happen in the training mode because, well, you're supposed to train your combos there. I want to try and do a big chain up an ultimate move as well. Let's see if I can do it. There you go. That was like 131, not a lot actually, you can do a lot more damage.
Oh my god!
Yeah!
Oh my god!
But well, now you can see how this goes. Oh, come on, I hate my controller, I'll never beat the game like this if he keeps turning the character around all the time. But of course, if you throw enemies towards your allies, you can see that the blue box is still there, so they could actually keep juggling the enemy if you throw it at them, like, as it happens with the volley bread thing that I talked to you about before.
No more juggling.
Oops, no more juggling. And well, there you are. That's what I wanted to show you. That was the last part of this tutorial. So I think I will stop the video here, and if you have any questions, well, the only thing I still need to remind you about is that you can download this game for free at the website of this group of Las Noches Skateras in Spanish. I will include that download the website in the video description. You can contact me in the commentaries or via Twitter if you want me to relay any messages onto the makers of the game, or you can contact them yourselves. They are a merry, a nice bunch, always ready to help and to listen to fellow players. So, well, and of course you are all invited to join the live streamings that they do every Friday on YouTube, although those streamings are in Spanish. But, well, if language were not a barrier for you, you would be, I mean, more than welcome to join. Now I think I've told you everything I wanted. My following video will probably be a gameplay of the game. When I manage to complete it, I will record myself playing to see if I can complete the game. I'm still far from it. As you could see, I'm not one of the sharpest players in the shed, so to say, but I will keep on trying. I just want everybody to play the game because it's mighty fun, it's wonderful, it's very well done, it's got lots of characters, lots of replayability value because you can unlock new characters, you can unlock new game modes, you can try the Muso mode, which is crazy fun. There's plenty to do in this game. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I will stop talking now and I will leave you to play the game and try it if you really want to do so. Thank you very much, and I will see you around. Gordo Diamond says bye-bye for now. Farewell.